She gotta go home. That's what's going on. YouTube want to shut Wirecast down.
Uh, it's
That's what's
always
going
something.
on.
Yeah, it's always something. Yeah.
It look good
Dun,
over there.
dun. What's that? Oh, the
It
oh,
smell good too. Could you smell
yeah,
it? You gotta.
yeah. You put cinnamon on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Hello, hola, hola, hola. We got somebody in here with
oh,
us.
okay. Hey, hey. Greetings, y'all. What's going on? Uh, oh, look at there. What's up, man? It is almost the end of the day for this particular holiday. Um, we don't necessarily do holidays, but hey, it is what it is here. And so I want to just wish all of the fathers that get the opportunity to um, connect with us through this video. Happy Father's Day to you.
Happy Father's Day.
Um, I hope that this day has been all that you could imagine that it would be, and that your loved ones and your family and everybody really showered you with
Cut it
love,
down, Lonnie.
because that's what it was all about. Um, man, we titled this video "The Ascension, the Quickening, the Purge." First off, let me say this. I know y'all haven't seen me in a while. Y'all haven't seen me in a few videos, and I just want to apologize. First and foremost, uh, I'm I'm somewhat of an introvert, and so at times,
Somewhere.
yeah, yeah, I'm gonna say somewhat. She's bringing me out, yeah, yeah. But yeah, as an introvert, I do what I do, but then at times, I'm like, no, I ain't gotta be all on the camera or whatever. But I know that when y'all when y'all come to this channel, y'all kind of like have gotten both of us for so long, and so it's only right that I be present. And so, nevertheless, my wife, she continues to hold it down and continues to share as much as Source give her, and as many light codes or revelations as she shares with the family. So, uh, shalom, shalom. I'm going to do a 180. I'm going to do better. Um, and not only am I going to be present when she
Over there
does
and do it. Don't get
videos,
her with it. Take it over there.
but I'm going
Huh?
to
Do it like this and
begin
make
to
her bite it.
do
Make
some
her let
series
her
of
play with it.
videos myself, just detailing and chronicling the journey that I've had to experience, the journey that I've experienced as it relates to the quickening and the ascension and the purge. Um, but without any other ado, I just want to let y'all know that's what it has been. But you will see me more. Um, and I just thank y'all for continually supporting us, continually supporting this channel. Continue to like. Um, for those that are new to it, subscribe. You'll definitely get some information that you um, are seeking for. And I did say you seeking for, because if you come across our channel, it was something that got your attention, and so that means that you're searching. And so we are here as a bridge builder. We are here as individuals who connect uh, uh, and definitely encourage you to continue to stay on this path, continue to stay on this journey. Um, you what the ascension,
Yeah. Talk about it.
man.
Sum it up.
Right now we at a point in time. uh, in our existence to where so much is going on, um, and as it relates to knowing who we are, the knowledge of self, understanding that when it talked about in the Bible, the afterlife and um, making it to heaven, going to heaven, we
Rapture.
understand the rapture. We now understand that that related and was metaphorically and symbolic of what is called the ascension. Um, as as
Hmm?
beings, as spiritual beings, we understand now, because we understand and we have began to get deeper into metaphysics. We know that we are energy beings. We are light beings. And so as light beings, we ascend. That just means that we raise to a higher level of consciousness. We continually raising
You
our
okay?
consciousness.
Go get your.
And that ascension is taking place now. You have some individuals who are continually, consciously elevating. Um, whether you uh, see any synchronicities, it's so much going on. I'm one of few words, as you'll learn. But just to sum it all up, I would just say that you're co- you're evolving more and becoming more in tune and aware to the universe. Um, y'all see Sphinx back there? Sphinx, look this way. Look this way, Sphinx.
Hello.
And
She
then y'all
did.
see, y'all see Lonnie back. Yeah, I guess you want to call this the catwalk, right here on the back of the
Right.
couch. That's the catwalk. Okay, and that's Sphinx. She okay, baby. um, but again, to sum up Ascension, it is basically where we're becoming more in tune to the universe, where our consciousness and what's going on around us from the inside out is changing. And so we're becoming more aware of what it means to truly be spiritual. You know, we thought at one point in time that we were spiritual because we read scriptures and we prayed
Yeah.
and we fasted,
Yeah.
but that's not the actual practical part and the application of what being spiritual is. A spiritual person is someone who
Hold on. We're doing a video. Thank
have
you.
spiritual
Put it on the plate.
practices.
Put it
Yeah,
on the
put it on
plate
the
right
plate.
there.
No, you can't put it
No,
right.
no,
Yeah.
no, put it on the plate.
No, no, no.
Okay.
He did, Mama. He can get it. He doesn't need it.
Oh, thank you. You know, we appreciate you all. We really do. I'm tired. I would much rather be in the bed sleep, as you all know. I'm super honest, but we just have a connection with y'all,
Yep.
and we don't want to take the connection for granted. So just agreeing with what he's saying, the ascension is happening, and it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. It's not going to be comfortable. So if you all were with us in the beginning, and we kind of want to make it quick and sum it up and wrap it up, and then any questions or anything that you all have, send it to remnantsgathering@gmail.com. And so what we're doing is comments and things that you all mentioned, questions you asked us, and we're constructing the topics to talk about moving forward. So so we wanted to explain what was happening, why you having ringing in the ears, headaches, just to start with the physical symptoms, why you're having those things, why you're noticing it seems like you're going through a purge within your life, where you're having to let go of old belief systems, old traditions, things that you believe were right, and now you're finding yourself not believing that it's right anymore. All of this is a product of the rapture or the quickening or ascending. And so for us, our journey is a lot different than a lot of other people who talk about 1111, synchronicities, angel numbers, 444, light codes, light activation. People like Phil Valentine, who've been talking about it for well over 25 years. But we weren't ready to receive that information, and so we stayed within the structure of church. Then we stay within the structure of religion, and then we stay within the structure of a movement, the Hebrew Israelite movement, which was a huge blessing for us because it opened the way for us to be able to study true spirituality. And so we're just really thankful. We don't want to take you all for granted. And with that being said, I want to get straight into the symptoms, how to deal with the symptoms, and what is the end result of this. If this does not resonate with you, that is totally okay. This is only going to resonate with the people who are ready to receive this higher level of consciousness.
Right.
And anytime you climb higher, if anybody rock climb or work out, when you climb, it does take more exertion on the body, the mind, body, and the soul. So we just want to say we haven't walked away from the Bible, the Holy Bible, the Biblios Helios, the Sun book, not Sonsun. Everything in the Bible was pointing us to astrology, to understand the signs and times. Even for the rapture, the quickening, the returning of the Christ, we were told by Christ himself to pay attention to the heavenly bodies, the sun, moon, and stars, and it will be for signs and seasons. That's also in Genesis. And so you can't take that information and then take your belief systems and what you've been told to throw out those two scriptures I just mentioned. Yes, there are many others that say don't worship the sun, moon, and stars, and don't do this and don't do that. However, if the book of Genesis and Christ himself said that we should pay attention to what's going on in the heavens and in space and to be conscious of that, that's huge, and we cannot ignore that. So we're not throwing out the baby with the bathwater, but the understanding is much deeper and it's uncomfortable. So if you are seeking the truth, you have moments where you're like really confused and you don't know who to trust, who to listen to, what's up, what's down. And so we just want to talk about the ascension. The rapture is real. The return of Christ, that's a real thing. But it's not in the way that we thought it was.
Right.
Okay. So the return of Christ is not a one person returning. The return of Christ is a frequency. It's a
Right.
consciousness. It's the way that you think, the
Right.
way that you control your mind.
Right.
The way meditation is just focusing on things that are worthy of adoration, things that are of a higher vibration. That's in scripture. Scripture talks about the third eye. That's why when he talks about the eye being full of darkness, he thinks it's light. He didn't say eyes plural with the S. He said
the
eye.
eye.
So he was talking about the pineal gland. So it's totally okay
single eye.
for you to be researching that information. Don't feel guilty about it. Let go of the guilt and the shame. Let go of the fear. Those are some of the things that when the rapture was taking place now, you have to let go of those things because they are low vibration and it will literally make you feel sick. You will feel toxic. You will wake up unhappy, miserable, confused. Your relationships, your job, your career, just everything. You all of a sudden feeling like you don't know what to do or you just can't get it right. For some reason, you can't get it right. Be encouraged. That's a great thing to feel that way because that shows that you are receptive. You're receptive to what you're doing in your life and how it impacts the world as well as yourself. So all of this is a part of the rapture, the quickening, aka the ascension, and the coming of Christ. So the coming of Christ is happening inside of you. The kingdom of heaven is inside of you. It's inside of us. We are gods. We not only we are made in the image of God, but we are God. Scripture says that if that makes you uncomfortable, we understand. It still makes us uncomfortable. However, we know it to be true.
That's right.
Basically, that means that you create your own reality. We construct our own reality by the things that we choose to think about the most and focus on. And whatever you give your attention to, that's what's going to have the power.
That's right.
And so we just have to
As simple
be.
as manifesting.
It's so simple. And so when we were learning about the speak things into existence, speak those things that be not as though they are, that's manifestation. That's the law of attraction. All of this was in the Bible, and a lot of thank you, baby, thank you. And a lot of the pastors and stuff who teach Christianity, and even some Hebrew Israelites, they're very knowledgeable of metaphysics. But just for a lot of different reasons, probably they're just more comfortable staying within that belief system. And so we didn't want to do that to you all. Once these light codes, these revelations, the synchronicities, the numbers lining up, just seemed like we were attracting stuff, manifesting stuff. All of a sudden, we got cats around the house. We never had that happening. And then we just got a nudge, and it was a sign. It was time for us to invite a pet into the home. Just these things are all part of this process of helping us be one, the law of oneness, to understand that we do have to take care of animals and the earth and what we're doing and each other here. We're accountable. That's what ye are gods in the scripture. That's what all of that means. Be accountable, hold yourself accountable. And so what happens, we started off with the laws of man, right? The 10 commandments, the law that was handed down to us from God. And so now we're at a point where once we research the 10 commandments and held on to it, we find out, wait, this originated from the 42 laws of Ma'at. And so that's just part of the ascension. You're learning things that you're finding yourself receptive to things you used to say were demonic.
You would reject. Yep.
That's okay. That's part of the transition. That's part of the purging that's happening. It's no coincidence that they're putting out the next Purge movie this year. People that do Hollywood, they understand this. They're paying attention to the signs in the heavens. They have NASA. They have Lucifer, the telescope, to watch these things. Why do you think they're out in space so much and watching? Because they understand that as well. Yeah. And so we just want to set you all free from the guilt and the shame of the truth seeking. You may be the only one in your whole family and your circle of influence, as we are. And it can be a lonely road. And sometimes practicing religion, believing in Hebrew Israelite, whatever religion that you choose, sometimes it's more comfortable because you don't have to feel alone. It's so many other people who feel and believe exactly as you do. But when you start really going through a true purging and a true transformation, you look up one day and nobody around you believes what you believe. Nobody understands your conversation and what you're talking about. They don't understand, girl, why you keep making a big deal about seeing 444? They're not going to get you, but that's okay. They don't have to get you. Know thyself. Continue to learn yourself. Continue to seek what resonates with you. And I'm trying to hit these points. I mentioned meditation. I see a lot of you asking me, like, man, where do I start? Where do I begin? I have been feeling led to do that. That's part of the ascension too. Nope, no, I don't have it, baby. Go look in the room. Go look in the room. Go look in the room. That's part of the ascension as well. And so for us, let me tell you all, because it was so many people asking questions. I knew I probably wasn't going to be able to get to each one of you. So I feel like this will be something great to address in the video. As far as meditation, I have a playlist. The name of the playlist is Relax. You can go to that playlist, and there are things for beginners in there. Every genre within meditation, whether you want to meditate to heal your body, which is something I personally have to work on a lot to try to be healthy. Every meditation you can think of is there to remove negative attachments. Part of the purge, the ascension, this is us letting go of stuff that's low vibration, that's negative. Letting go of stuff that no longer serves us. It is not benefiting you anymore. And so meditating helps you to attune yourself to the laws of the universe. And the laws of the universe are way more important than the laws we were given in church, and even the law that we're given in government and stuff. We're seeing the hypocrisy behind that, and we're seeing Lady Justice is really blind and can't be depended on. But everything that was constructed is from the information that we're sharing with you all. So I recommend that playlist for meditation. Ernest, he was having a difficult time with meditation. Okay, baby, I'm not sure. I don't have it. Have you seen? It was on the couch. Baby, go ahead and share with them a simple, easy way you've been.
Oh, okay.
Meditating.
Yeah, one of the things that has worked and been good for me is to meditate. If you're one that when you begin to meditate, you kind of get a little adrift, a little sleepy, that's understood. What you can do in that event is look for meditations that are sleep meditations. Therefore, regardless if you do fall asleep, they're still beneficial for you, and they still tap into your subconscious. And so meditation has been extremely helpful. Um,
It's
you know,
7:44.
huh? Yeah,
Uh-huh.
1144, two power numbers. Um, Meditation has been extremely helpful for me. But I have decided to meditate in the mornings when I get up. Because after a long day and you've been through the day, if you try to meditate at the later part of the day, you're subject to probably fall asleep on the meditation. So, as I said, definitely look for those meditations that are sleep meditations. They allow you to get into it, and if you happen to fall asleep, it still
Mm-hmm.
works. Um, but the journey has been definitely. I missed it. Did you catch that?
No,
Okay.
I didn't.
Ask that question again. I missed that question about meditation. Um, but yeah, the journey has been difficult uh, because I was not a meditator, especially from the standpoint of now what I understand about meditation. Um, when coming out of Christianity, when you use the word meditate, we just read the Bible and we just continue to um, um, repeat those particular scriptures to the point to where that was the type of meditation that I was familiar with. And so to actually meditate, or some people would even say it's more like hypnosis, uh, um, to be under a type of trance, or to be hypnotized. But that's what's needed right now. That's what's needed in order for us to go beyond just this low vibration. In order to ascend to that higher vibration, y'all, we have to meditate. That is a part of it. That it has to become our lifestyle. And so,
Every day.
yeah,
Matter of fact, what came to me, and then I could I feel a specific question, and I'm gonna address that and let me know if this helps you and you was wondering about this. But I was gonna say, but if you just now started or if you've been meditating, it don't matter. But think of meditation as oxygen for the soul, oxygen for your spiritual increase and ascension and strengthening and endurance. Think of
mm-hmm,
meditation that way. Is that necessary? You know that you have to breathe, you have to take a breath, and
mm-hmm.
just keep doing it until it becomes involuntary, just like breathing and blinking your eyes,
That's right.
where it's just a part of who you are.
That's right.
So I recommend, even if you can't stay woke at night, like he said, it still works on the subconscious while you're sleeping. For
Mm-hmm.
those of you who are concerned about, well, I don't know how I feel about meditation slash hypnosis, because it's like somebody implanting their thoughts and intentions into minds, but that's not true. This isn't. You can listen to the whole meditation consciously to see what they're saying, that you're comfortable with it before you do it.
Yeah.
So we haven't done any meditations where somebody and we woke up the next day barking like a dog. You know, and that's how I felt about it. I was like, I don't know about this.
Yeah,
But
it was
once
so
you
big.
start doing it, it's gonna help you a lot.
That's right.
But this is a specific question that I kept feeling coming to me, and I know somebody has this question. Well, you might have kind of tried meditating before, because I have had difficulty visualizing, and he has too.
Mm-hmm.
So we recommend start off with something very simple. Just look at your room, the room that you're in, close your eyes, and try to recall everything in the room. Grab an ink pen, look at the ink pen, close your eyes, and try to recall everything that was on that ink pen. Look at it, see how many things you got right, how many things you missed. Do it again until you're able to recall everything that you saw.
That's right.
This is training the mind.
Yeah.
And the pineal gland being decalcified, we started with the Hebrew Israelite movement, where we began being more conscious of what we were eating. That is going to aid you in meditation as well.
That's
Sugar
right.
works against it. Yeast works against it. Bread, anything with gluten in it, that's glue. And so it's going to glue you up, not just your intestines, but your whole
Whole
self.
system.
And you
Yeah.
have to remember, we're not just a physical body. This is just our avatar. This is nothing. Like literally, this is nothing.
Yeah.
We're going to shed this and
Yeah.
leave this.
Yeah.
And so understand that your light body, your emotional body, your mental body, understand that even the child inside of you, maybe something terrible happened to you as a child, that child is still inside of you. Just because you grow and get bigger and older doesn't mean that that child leaves. It's still within you.
That's
So
right.
me and him is even having to go back to childhood
Yeah.
just to continue attuning ourselves to be authentic
That's right.
and to be our true spiritual selves and to be able to grow.
That's why I said this journey has been a difficult one. It's been a
Yes.
struggle. You know, anytime you begin to do something that you've never experienced and it's something that's totally new, you're gonna if it's obstacle after obstacle, it's hardship, it's trial. It gets frustrating. It gets to the point to where you think about throwing in the towel and saying, you know what, I can't do this. But if you stick with it and continue to stick with it, you can achieve breakthroughs. Just like with anything else. Anything that you've ever
Wanna use this
done
one?
that you've experienced
That one did. Use that one.
complete opposition towards,
Just don't cut it out loud.
you stuck with it and then you were able to reap the benefits of it. And so we definitely want to encourage you all to stay on course, to stay with it, stick with it, and to continue to press through it. I just wanted to say one thing when she was speaking. Not to mention the dietary changes that's crucially important. We also have to be mindful of our body as being this outside, this skin being one big organ. And so we have to be mindful of the type of heavy metals that we put on our bodies, from the deodorants to all types of different lotions and different things like that. All of these different products, all of these products are not created to necessarily be toxic free. And so you have to become a student. You have to begin to do your own research to know and understand what it is you're using and what the contents of it is. Just like you read labels with food and stuff like that, begin to read these labels with these different products, and you'll find, as we've found in the past, that even some health products have
Yeah. A lot of
placenta and all
carcinogens
kind
in
of
it,
crap.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and recently. So let me get through this in case you all have any more questions. Practice being intuitive. Practice making
Yeah.
decisions with your heart.
Yeah.
Even when you're meditating, some of the meditations, there's a voice guided meditation I mentioned in the last video. It's called the shamanic meditation. This meditation will help you to be able to be in touch with your angel or your spirit guide. Sometimes it could be a child you lost or a loved one that passed on. And they're continuing to just be assistance in your life.
That's right.
We have to remember when we leave this body that that's not the end. That's actually the beginning of life. What we're experiencing now is death. We have been the walking dead. A lot of us thought we were conscious and we weren't.
Right.
And think about the walking dead. They eat whatever they can find, right? And that's kind of how we've been. We had not been conscious of what we were eating and putting on our skin and using and brushing our teeth with and what's in our water.
Yep.
For a very long time, those things were not important. And even to people who are dealing with poverty, those things are becoming important, where they're having to make sacrifices to be able to eat certain foods that they know they need to eat, and not use certain products. So be encouraged. You're not alone. There's so many other people experiencing this. But with this quickening happening, remember the Bible talk about the wheat separated from the tares. And so people have asked me, okay, well, how does that fit into all of this? Well, the way that fits into all of this, if you are someone, all of a sudden you're noticing numbers, you're feeling like it's an angel around you sometimes. You see a picture of yourself and you notice it's an orb in the picture with you. You feel somebody who's negative and it feels like they dragging your aura and your energy down. All of a sudden you're just becoming sensitive to everything in your environment and conscious of everything going on. Well, that's not happening to everybody.
No.
And so what this means is the wheat separated from the tares was happening. We noticed that something was wrong with Chevrolet. The word Chevrolet looked different. We noticed that something was wrong with the word Febreze. It was spelled different.
We noticed their headbands were spelled the little Family Gang.
Without an A in it.
Yeah.
You know?
When we bought it, it was head HEAD.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Monopoly Man doesn't have the monocle anymore, and if you research it, it'll say he never wore a monocle. And you
Mm-hmm.
know that's not true. If you play Monopoly, you know he had the little monocle over his eye. Guess what? You're not going to be able to find anything with that on there. And
Mm-hmm.
so we're mentioning these things because this is proof of the shift that's happening and the quickening. And so people who, I could be wrong, but right now this is what we understand. People who are tears or people who are not ascending, it's because they're not ready and they're choosing to stay where they are, so they
Right.
don't see these changes.
Yeah.
They don't wonder why J.C. Penney all of a sudden is spelled E-Y, but Penny has always been spelled P-E-N-Y. They don't see the burn scene. They can't even remember it any other way. They don't see that the Ford logo all of a sudden got a pigtail on it and it was never there before. They can't see it.
Right.
They don't see that Colorado, I never have known Colorado to border New Mexico. Did that just shock you? It shocked me too. Go look at it on the map. Colorado and New Mexico share a border. That's something I never knew. I never knew that the word tomorrow has changed. It used to be spelled with two M's. And then it went to one M, back to
And
two
two
M's.
M's.
Tennessee did the same thing. It was spelled with one E, then it went to two E's, and it was back to one E. Because as I'm typing and making notes and putting together shows, I'm noticing these things. I was like, what is going on? And I realized this is connected to what people call the Mandela effect. Really, all that is happening is everything around us is changing based on our consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
I want apple juice.
Okay, baby. PJ. And so just know that yes, it is too much is much is required the more you're given. And so the more knowledge that you're given, the more is going to be required of you to live a certain way. And it's going to be uncomfortable. You're having to purge. So it's not just purging with your food, with your friends, with the people you love, which how you worship, what you believe in. Is God a woman? Is God masculine? All of these questions. This is a part of the ascension, the rapture, the quickening, and the people who are called, like, we don't want y'all to miss it because y'all don't quite know who to trust or look to for some enlightenment and some truth. We don't want you to miss it because there is a time coming where the people who are in and the people who are not are not.
Right.
And so when scripture talked about the virgins with the oil and how some of the virgins did not have oil by the time the bridegroom came, which was Christ. And so they got locked out and they didn't get a chance to go to the wedding feast and be married unto Christ. And so when scripture talks about that oil is the secretion from the pineal gland that happens as you begin to raise your consciousness,
Right.
as you begin to acknowledge universal laws. There is an actual oil that the body will produce.
That's right.
It is an oil which they have called anointing oil. And so that's what that was talking about. So yes, the wheat are being separated from the tares, and this is why some people notice Mandela effects and some people don't. Um, um, one other thing that's going to be major, you're going to start noticing all of a sudden you're going to have an interest in things that you were told were dark, demonic, and wicked. All of a sudden you have an interest in numerology a lot more than you used to. You'll find yourself watching videos one after the other about two suns being in the sky and how the moon looks different. And how we're in a different place in the Milky Way than we used to be. We were in the Sagittarius arm, then we ended up in the Orion arm, and we look it up again, we're back in Sagittarius arm. Yes, baby.
It's time to go sleep.
Yes, it is. In 5 more minutes, we'll be done. Yeah, pour her some apple juice. And so just seeing all those changes happen, seeing NASA report on it, and then flip-flop, and then you can't even find proof of what you've seen before, it can be really weird. The shift is a very strange thing. It's very paranormal. And so, but you just gotta, just one step at a time, pace yourself, try not to be negative and overly hard on yourself, okay? And I'm not gonna lie to you. With liberation comes more responsibility. So as we're being liberated from old belief systems that were misunderstood or just taken for surface level and no one went any deeper, you pay a price for that. With that liberation, it definitely is the price that comes with it. Now with Hebrew Israelite, it made me feel safe. Wrapping my hair and covering my hair and understanding how spiritual and sacred my hair was, those things they made me feel safe. I felt a security that I didn't feel before that. That was necessary for our spiritual growth. Just being covered up and not letting much of my skin show. Now it's 100 or something degrees in Memphis, and so I be burning up. So I'm not covering up as much and walking around in turtlenecks and stuff. I went through that, and that was a part of my growth. That was a part of my ascension. And so the whole thing about the whole story of Christ was being able to let stuff die, being willing to let things die, even things that made you comfortable or protected you or gave you guidance or served you, being able to let it go and saying, you know what, if this is no longer benefiting me and helping me grow, I submit myself to the growth, because I truly want to progress. I don't want to be stuck anymore. I want to progress. I want to grow. I want to become the person inside my mind I feel I am on the outside. And so as we were going through this, I just began to realize, we did the Christianity thing. Remember what's wrong with Christianity? We talked about that. We talked about what was wrong with the whole Christ Messiah thing. And that was just the beginning stages of us coming to this understanding. And so in the last days, knowledge will abound much. Everything we talk about here from this point forward is actually in the Bible. Everything. And you have to remember, the Bible is a book about the Son. S-U-N. S-U-N. It's Biblios, Helios. So just continue to communicate with us, because it's helping us to know what you all need to hear, what you want to hear. It's not a whole lot of people who are in between metaphysics, true spirituality, and church or Hebrew Israelite.
Right.
We're one of the few people who went through all different paths of spirituality to end here,
Yep.
and we did it publicly.
Yep.
That's not easy. It's not easy to sit in front of y'all and do this, because we know that each soul that is watching us and that will watch this video, we have a responsibility for the things that we say and put it in. And so I just want to say that, yes, it is liberating to be in the age of Aquarius. The age of Pisces was all about control. And so now we're coming into the age of ascension. And matter of fact, the word Israel, it means ascension. If you read and research deep enough, it means ascension. Hebrew, Ibri, means to cross over or to cross the river. And so all of those things are just symbolic ways to explain how the human soul evolves from just earth to heaven on earth. So we're not going to leave in a twinkling of an eye. We're not going to be snatched up to the clouds and then meet with the people who died before us. Hey, what's up? Hey, granddad, dang, see you. It's not going to happen like that. But that was a very basic way of us learning it at the time.
That's
now
right.
we're able to learn it much deeper.
Yeah, understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it's happening now. And Ernest and I's reality is based on what we do, how we behave, what we're eating, what we put in it, what we're using, what we're watching. Listen to all of that.
Yep.
And so we're creating our own reality. For the first time, we're not expecting a savior or a God outside of us to fix everything for us.
Right.
We're actually having to be hands-on and DIY. And work through the hard stuff with elbow grease.
That's right.
And man, it's a dirty job, but somebody has to do it. And if you want to purge yourself of the things that are not beneficial and good for you, if you want to get rid of the curses, you want to get rid of the old soul ties and attachments, if you truly want to understand the energetic body, the light body, what does that all mean? Why do we dream? Why do I have a subconscious and a conscious? Why do I have a right and left hemisphere? Wait, why do we use our left hemisphere more than our right hemisphere? Wait, let me look at the anatomy of the body. Oh my goodness, that looked just like the Ark of the Covenant that was described in scripture. Wait, let me look at the anatomy of the body. Oh my goodness, what is that? Is that a serpent? Is that a snake? Wow, we have something inside of our head that looks like an eye turned to the side. Is that what the Egyptians was showing us? All of a sudden, you're just wondering all of these things about your body, and you want to understand your temple. You're wanting to understand heaven. And so the way that heaven manifests is heaven on earth. We're manifesting it by our consciousness level. And so every human being has an electromagnetic field and a frequency.
Facts.
And so every food has a frequency.
Yes.
Everything in your house has a frequency.
Yes.
And the frequency that
That's why
has
the 5G
exactly being
bombardments.
rolled out. The 5G is gonna cut off
Yeah.
people being able to see, and it's going to make it more difficult because there's a lot of electromagnetic pollution. They're
Yep.
turning up the radiation.
Yep.
And so now that we're leaving the 3D matrix system where we've been asking the questions for years, now we're finally getting to the point of accepting the answers to those questions we're uncomfortable with. And so as that's happening and we're growing, we're leaving from the 3D timeline to a 5D timeline. Right now we're kind of in the middle with the 4D, where people are just kind of trying to get grounded, and people are trying to just grab on to what truth is and let me hold on to that.
Right.
You know. And so in that you hear people talking about the event, words like the shift, right? You see these things, parallel realities. You see CERN, people like Anthony Patch breaking down how CERN is going to affect reality. How the Bible talks about the veil being torn, right? And so that's what's happening. That's why we're seeing so many UFOs and manifestations and angels and supernatural paranormal things. Every movie that comes out, that's what it's about. Every movie that's came out by Marvel is about chakras. It's about the dark soul, the dark night of the soul. It's about duality. It's about God and the devil, heaven and hell is all inside of us,
Right.
because we are a microcosm
Cosm.
of the macrocosm, which is the
Exactly.
little bitty universe
Right.
put inside of a body.
That's right.
And that can be scary to explore that because it's so much to explore. And as long as we've been
And
doing
you
it,
always
we
been
keep,
told that you don't
you don't
explore
do that.
That's right.
And so you find stuff in the corners of you that you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
You learn, man, you know what? I'm a huge hypocrite. I'm a
Yeah.
huge liar.
I'm a
Man,
big liar.
I'm
I'm
greedy.
so selfish.
Yeah, I'm selfish. Man, I'm lazy.
But you don't you until you begin to really look at yourself, and not just in a superficial way, not just on the surface, but when you are connected to someone, when you have a twin flame, when you have that soulmate,
Oh, that's a good point. That's happening.
yeah,
Yeah.
that challenges you and causes you
Yeah.
to see yourself. Someone who's not going to let you just go through the motions. Someone who's not going to just accept your bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You have to realize, dang, I really do got issues. Man, I really do have a communication problem. Man, I really do have a selfish, egotistical attitude. You understand what I'm saying? And you won't realize that you have all of these issues until you begin to
Purge that stuff up out of you.
purge. Exactly. And but it all comes with, now don't get me wrong, you can begin to experience these things by yourself, but when you have somebody that is a true accountability partner, and that's what this journey requires, somebody that will be accountable, but as and we used to say iron sharpens iron,
Yeah.
according to the scriptures. And so as me and Cam are twin flames, those things that she's able to help me to, it's like holding a big mirror up. Instead of me having to look in the mirror all the time, anything that I do or anything that I say is mirrored to, it's reflected to me. And so then she's able to process it and show me, did you realize that you just did XYZ or said ABC? Okay. And then I have that same effect on her. And so that's important, y'all. When we get to this place, then you can really begin to understand everything about being purged, everything about purging spiritually, mentally, and physically. And that is that ascension.
It is. And for
Mm-hmm.
those of you who are in a soulmate situation right now, shalom, hello, sister Zari. If you're not in a relationship right now with a twin flame or soulmate, you're probably dealing with a lot of loneliness. Even those of us who are in these relationships still have the times where we feel lonely. It's just a natural part of the process of purging and learning yourself. When you so some of you are going through divorce, some of you are headed in that direction, some of you are not getting married to the person that you thought you wanted to marry, and all of that is a part of the wheat being separated from the tares. All of that is part of the ascension, the harvesting happening, where the souls who are ready are being taken, shifting to a higher level of consciousness. So we're all in the same world together. But just like the GOCC, we followed them really closely for a very long time. Now we don't have any idea what they're doing, and it's not even intentional. We don't wake up and say we're going to intentionally avoid the GOCC. It's just our frequency. When our frequency changed, all of a sudden,
That wasn't
what was
our
in our
reality no
reality
more.
changed.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to do anything.
Right.
But listen to our intuition, make decisions with our heart and not with our logical mind.
And you know, some people would say, but
Just
the
the
scriptures
opposite.
say the heart is deceitfully wicked. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? However, though that is stated in scripture that the heart is deceitfully wicked, how can you know anything of a heart matter if you're not attuned to your heart? And understanding that your higher self and your intuition will help you to feel. It will help you to sense things, because see, our heart is very important. It's a very important organ. We can't live without our hearts. But on a spiritual from a spiritual standpoint, our hearts is just that much important as well. And so, as Cam was saying, that's one of the things that you have to look at all of your energy. You have to look at your chakras. You have to begin to understand that it's more to us than what we've been told. And the only way to begin to understand it is you do your own search. You start seeking this stuff out. I can't just sit and wait for somebody to tell me, or somebody to teach me a concept or something for me to grow. No. If I want to grow, I have to get my hands dirty. I have to put the work in. I have to put the time in. I have to put all of what we've been talking about into action. We just can't wait. And so that's been our process. We're not sitting around waiting on nobody to teach us. We teaching ourselves. We teaching ourselves from top to bottom, inside out. We did a total wipe, as you would do with a operating system, and begin to make new connections and begin to rewrite the program, because we have been programmed, y'all. It's just the bottom line. This is the matrix. And so we've been programmed to think the way we think, to reject what we've been rejecting, and to accept what we've been accepting. But man told us what to accept, and man told us what to
No.
reject.
She, um,
Y'all,
it,
y'all see the
she just doing everything.
Ain't it?
I
Yep.
really think she like being on camera, huh?
Yeah, I see.
And with all of that being said, this is also why church, all of a sudden, it became something you didn't feel you needed to do anymore.
Thank you.
You know? And that's just a part of it. That's a part of it. More and more people are leaving the church. More and more people are waking up one step at a time. Everybody's path and journey is different. But if you are noticing numbers, if all of a sudden you're feeling like you need to challenge your own belief system, know that that's part of the quickening. If you don't believe in any of this, that's okay. Like, it's not for everybody, because we all have a time that we're called to be plucked out.
That's right.
But you can control the speed in which that happens by what you're humbling yourself to be corrected concerning.
Right.
But if you are holding on super tight and you're like, no, I'm not letting go
Right.
of these things. No, there is a God who's sitting up there and making sure that I do this and do that. If that's the place that you're in, then that's just where you are, and stay true to you and where you are. But there is something beyond
cool.
all of that. There's
right.
definitely something. So pay attention to your dreams with the quickening, the shift, all of that happening.
Right.
Your dreams are going to become even more important than they ever were. And so we know that's in scripture too, about prophesizing and having vision and dreaming dreams. All of this stuff is stuff that's going to happen in the end times. So we're waiting on Armageddon to happen and break out World War III, and everything ends, the mark of the beast, and we're put into FEMA camps. But it's metaphysical that these things are happening.
That's right.
People's minds are in FEMA camps because
right.
they're unable to even question anything, and they're locked in. Okay, those are the FEMA camps, right?
right.
the lithium that they spray in the air almost every other evening when you see the sunset turn red, that makes you be very
Docile.
beta frequency docile, where you're
Mm-hmm.
not going to question a thing. It's not going to be any type of uprising, any type of rebellion. You're not going to all of a sudden just go against the grain of your family
That's
and
right.
traditions and your friends and things you believe. It's some of you probably still in the Hebrew Israelite movement, but you've been feeling led that there's something more than that. But because you feel like you are, what's the word? You feel, what was the word?
Obligated.
Obligated to,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And we were feeling like that. We felt obligated. We didn't want to come out and tell y'all some of the things we were finding. We didn't want to communicate it to you all, because we start to feel like sellouts and hypocrites or flip floppers, and so that's not authentic. That's
Right.
not authentic. And we know that people who are truly spiritual understand what we're saying. You got to stay true to where you are.
That's right.
Test it. Don't be complacent and comfortable in nothing. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and just be that just take a level of humility to say, you know what, that might not be accurate, and I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll just wait till confirmation comes to me, and whatever, you know, the
Right.
truth is, it'll manifest to me, and have belief and believe in that, and stand on that and hold strong. And we always say, judge us by our fruits. So you
Mm-hmm.
might see me show some crystal tarot cards and say, wow, this was huge, and you're like, wait, how they go from that to tarot cards? That's so demonic and evil. It's a form of divination, and you know, I I don't know how to respond to that, but to say to you, the crystals came into our life, and then
Mm-hmm.
from that point, we begin to
Mm-hmm.
understand the crystals and gemstones was all throughout scripture and stuff too, right? And so then from that point, we began to understand what was happening in the heavens, and it was important. And
Mm-hmm.
it was just a progression of one thing at a time. And then we started having certain dreams. And
Mm-hmm.
then we started learning, you know what? I need to learn how to control my thoughts. I need
Mm-hmm.
to learn how to reprogram my subconscious so that my
Mm-hmm.
conscious life reflects the person who I am in the inside.
That's
When
right.
that started happening, these things just kind of began opening themselves up to us.
That's right.
So we're not saying go buy a deck of crystal tarot cards. Stay true to you. But for us, it was just a natural progression.
That's
And
right.
so if you're wondering how we look at that, we look at that as the creator, that particular energy. It is all around us, and it is in every single thing.
That's right.
And before we left religion, we came to the understanding that Christ is in everything. He is everything. The source, creator, the source of all life, the source of death, the source of darkness and light, the source of the seen and unseen.
Mm-hmm.
All of that is a oneness. It is one huge energy, just like the movie Avatar. What's happening right now is exactly like the movie Avatar. And
Mm-hmm.
so we're learning that we have a higher self, we have an
Mm-hmm.
intuition, we
Mm-hmm.
have a Christ consciousness. That's that part of you where you see the angel on one shoulder and the devil on one. That's that
Mm-hmm.
part of you that give you inklings,
That's right.
and let you know when you're on the right path and when you're not. And so we were just calling that guidance God,
That's right.
or Jesus, or the Holy
Mm-hmm.
Spirit,
Mm-hmm.
when in actuality it's just the soul, the eternal soul energy of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And learning how to just connect with that and follow what your intuition is guiding you to. We could guarantee you, if you do that, you're not going to go wrong. And the way you're going to know you're doing
It
the
really
right
open
thing,
you up.
it does, because you're going to be forced to purge and purify. You go before we can't do hardly any things we used to. And it's crazy, because when we left religion, we thought that meant, man, we free now. We can be of the world, and we can do whatever. Ain't no right and wrong. It's just what's beneficial and what's not. And it was totally different. Getting rid of the religious rules opened us up to universal laws. And so
Exactly.
now we're having to learn the universal laws.
Right.
And it's forcing us to see ourselves in the purge. And I want to say this too: anything spiritual, anything physical results from the spiritual realm. Spiritual is just another word for unseen or subconscious. So saying that to say this: doing enemas, something as simple as that. If you're already starting to eat clean, we got to clean out our intestine. The stuff that we ate 10, 15 years ago, fecal matter, a lot of that stuff is still stuck in our intestines. And so if you're eating clean, but you still got those toxins in your intestines, it's going to get in the way of your ascension and being able to purge and be
Yes.
clean and detox from old belief systems and old things that
Exactly.
don't serve you either. So we hadn't quite got there yet. We're still researching and studying, but that is the next steps in cleaning and purging ourselves. And so that's what this age is all about. That's what the age of Aquarius is all about. And so you can ascend. You can ascend. And one other thing I just really understood, as far as your existence, the person next door to you could be in living hell in their day-to-day life,
That's true.
and you
You
find
can
yourself
in bliss.
in bliss and just joyful.
Yep.
And sometimes you can even feel guilty about it. It'd be like, man, this is going on in my family, this happened, that happened, but all of a sudden stuff negative don't affect you as deep as it used to,
Right.
external
Right.
stuff.
Right.
And you can care about it, but not care about it to the point that you're sacrificing your own peace. And sometimes it can make you feel like it's wrong. But that is part of the heaven, the new earth, which is heaven on earth. That's part of that. And so you're experiencing more joy because of what you're choosing to meditate on and think about.
Exactly.
How you're living and what you do and how you treat people. And so what's happening, you're learning how to architect your own reality and not let the government and all of the overlords that we have trying to have control over the matrix, not letting them create your reality, but creating your own.
That's right.
And so this is how some of us are experiencing joy, bliss, heaven on earth, and some of us are experiencing hell on earth. The downside to all of this is you're going to find yourself not being able to sleep because a lot of these transformations happening. Your body is having to adjust. We're having to adjust to time going by faster.
No.
Time going by faster is not a rumor, a myth, or just your perception. It's
just
actually
quantum.
happening
That's right.
because we're going light speed. We're going quantum.
Yep.
And so that's why you'll
No.
find yourself, you'll think about somebody and they'll call you.
Please.
You'll
That's how
mention somebody's
powerful-
name and you bump into them.
That's how powerful, that's how powerful we are. And
Yes.
that's how powerful the subconscious is.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we've never really realized how the magnitude of dreaming, but it was stated in scriptures
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that young men and young women will have visions and old men will dream dreams.
Yeah.
And we didn't realize what that meant. But the fact that the dream world is actually where it's at
Yeah.
and not in this virtual, not in this one right here where you seeing us, but actually the dream world is where the truth is revealed to you. What's really going on is what it gets revealed to you. You get a foresight into things to come. And so that helps you to make moves and maneuver in this realm. And so when you start understanding and when you begin to understand that, hey, you know what, I need to really, I need to be able to interpret what I'm dreaming. Why am I dreaming about this? And what connection it has to what I'm experiencing and who's around me. Then you will see exactly what you need to be seeing and what it means to be intuitive. But yeah, that's man.
So
This
yeah,
time, this
it
time,
is.
y'all.
You can tell we miss y'all, and we do. It'd be hard to drag ourselves to do this now because it's not as exciting as it was when we was in religion. You know, we knew that the majority of people would probably be with us on what we were saying, and so now that we done went off into what it really means to be a remnant, to be a part of the few,
Yeah.
you know,
Remnants.
it's a whole
Yeah.
different world. So
Yeah,
Thank
but
you all.
we are not attached to the outcome. You know, we've learned that as individuals trying to develop and grow, that you can't be attached to the outcome, and so that is something that we've learned to incorporate. Period, in our life. That it would be great for those individuals that come across our information and our videos to see and it resonate with you and see the connection and you're able to build, or we can build together. Or if you got something negative to say about it, hey, you know, but we're not attached to the outcome. You know, we are here to do what we're here to do, and that's what we're gonna do.
Come on, Daddy.
Yeah.
yeah, so It's an adjustment. It's an adjustment.
And we're gonna keep on letting the baby. Oh, you want to get down? Okay.
If y'all can't
the
tell
fuck?
nothing else, the house is definitely full of love
Yeah.
and freedom
And energy.
and energy.
It's
Yeah.
plenty of energy.
So we hope you all feel the good vibes, and if you happen to be in a dark place or going through some stuff, we want to send love and energy, peace
That's
and
right.
power your way.
That's right.
Just to encourage you, meditation is all about learning how to control the things that seem uncontrollable. Fear is just a perception. Not being able to change something is just a perception. Every disease is curable. Every issue is fixable, and it's just you getting the discipline and the commitment to just stick with it until it begins to manifest fruits. And so that is the challenge for this. And from this point forward, continue to just continue to press in, whatever that is for you right now. This is a no judgment zone, so even people who are still into religious stuff, we're not gonna judge you here. We're not gonna call you stupid. We, that's not right.
Right.
And if you're a truly spiritual being, then even people who come across this video and they may disagree with us on some things, they still feel some type of connection and or a good vibe. They still feel the love. And so we want you all to be able to come here and not feel judged. And so we got to stop judging ourselves. If you want to grow, if you want to sin, if you want to go into the quickening, if you want to learn how to manifest heaven on earth in your reality, let go of the guilt, the shame, the fear,
Yep.
and judging yourself. Because we have become hypercritical of ourselves for
That's
those
right.
of us who grew up in religion.
Yeah.
And so we're
And-
having to
and-
silence that voice.
And it's all based on your ego to be accepted.
That's right.
You don't want to be ostracized by those peers that you will be pretty much in opposition to for some time. But as Cam said, in a lot of ways, it may just be for you to make that step, make that move. And those individuals that were truly connected to you and truly know you, they know who you are. They know how you get down. When they see the growth and the awareness and the consciousness, your consciousness being raised to a higher level, they will slowly begin to let their guards down and to say, hey, you know what, let me look into this. um because again, we had to realize that we can't throw everything away. We can't throw everything away, everything that we've learned,
Kitty,
and
get down, Spanx.
all of the experiences that we've
Stop
had
scratching.
as it relates to our faith journey. We can't throw it all away. You know, in order to truly be enlightened, that means that you have to glean some experiences from here, from there, from there, from there, from there, because you can't say that you got it all and you know it all if you just operating in this little one small circumference, you know. But to really understand the universe and to understand us as beings,
No.
we have to broaden
No.
our scope. And so that's what this journey has been like. And it's, we continue to grow every day. We continue to learn new things, and that's what this life is about. If you feel like you growing where you are, then more power to you. Stay where you are. You know what I'm saying? We don't have nothing negative to say. You know what I'm saying? But if you are receiving what we're saying, and the things that we're saying are truly resonating with you, then we just want to encourage you to stick with it. We want to encourage you to meditate more. Yeah.
Keep trying.
Get to know your body more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Definitely.
And the more I promise you all, if y'all do this for 7 days, if you meditate every night or morning, whichever you choose, as many times as you want to, there's really not really any rules that apply to that. Just believe it and believe the meditation. If you do this for at least a week, I promise you, you'll find yourself being more sensitive to all kinds of stuff you didn't care about.
That's right.
All of a sudden, you're concerned about the puppy, the stray puppy down the street. And usually you'd be like, it's the dog, it'll be all right. And so you just start getting sensitive. You start not wanting to eat meat because you understand that this animal had to lose its life.
Yeah.
Something who was a mother or child. And I don't want to take that into me. I don't want to add that into my
energy.
karmic cycle.
Right,
You just
right,
find yourself
right.
being sensitive about it.
Right.
And so that's all a part of the process. If one other thing maybe that's really big that I think we should mention before we get off of here, concerning the meditation, like I said, that's the new oxygen. Meditation is the new H2O, the water for you. Eating green fruit foods, vegetables, leafy vegetables, especially increasing the amount of chlorophyll you're putting in your body,
Right.
trying to get as much sunlight as possible. All of these things are simple things that you can do that's going to help you be able to see the truth from a lie. And you won't be able to be deceived because you're you're applying the modalities to allow you to see with your third eye and not just your two. You're learning how to go within. And so the universe, source, the creator of all things, is just going to expose things to you as you can take them. And the more that you get comfortable with new ideas and new thoughts and being open-minded, the less demons and things like that will bother you. We don't have demonic activity in our home. I know some of you think because of the acupuncture, the yoga, the energy medicine, Donna Eden videos, they are awesome for people who are really wanting to get into being a light worker and understanding why you're here. We highly recommend Donna Eden. Her meditations, her teachings, all of that. And so these things right here, I would say is important. Yeah.
All of it, yeah.
It's important. So if you're not doing any yoga, at least start stretching. Try to implement stretching when you get up, because you're going to notice stiffness in your body and your muscles and stuff changing. That's because the body is changing. The heart used to be on the left side of your chest. Now if you look at a skeleton or any type of diagram, the heart now is in the center of the chest. The liver used to be a lot smaller. Now the liver is huge. The ribs were positioned different. And all of these things are changing. Your thumb seems like it's sitting way lower on your hand than it used to. Just little weird stuff that you'll start noticing about yourself. What are some of the other physical changes? The way the spine look has changed. Now the spine has this very alien predator scorpion point on the end, and we never remember seeing that in our tailbone.
Right.
Scriptures are changing. Places, there are things where Jesus would say, "Bring them to me that I may slay them." We don't ever remember that being in the Bible.
Right.
And so, okay, baby, you eat some in the morning for breakfast. And so all of these things are it's just a part of the awakening. You're just getting conscious. And so you go notice words being spelled wrong. States seem like they're moving or not as big as they used to be. Mount Rushmore looks totally different now. You know, it was 4 people in the car with JFK. Now it's 6. It's weird, and it can get uncomfortable. So we just want to give y'all some tips and some guidance for those of you who still want to do some more digging as far as Christianity, Hebrew Israelite, what that really means, the structure. We have a playlist called Truth Behind Christianity. That's a great place for you. We have collected over 1,000 videos. We have done the work for you. All you got to do is go through the playlist, watch, study, learn, research. The next playlist
Truth is definitely out here.
Yeah, it is. And it's a playlist called Yisrael Teachings that we have as well. You can use that playlist if you happen to resonate with the things that Hebrew Israelites teach. That's a really good place for you to begin. You'll be able to see how we went from studying with the Hebrew Israelites, studying with the GOCC. From studying with the GOCC, we went to, what's the name of the church? The Yisrael pastor.
Atlanta.
Yisrael of Atlanta. Then we got into that. And then it was just step by step by step. And it was like the Creator was just taking baby steps with us.
Yeah.
And so you'll be able to go through that process.
That's necessary, though, y'all. I mean,
necessary.
You're not gonna go. Yeah, you're not gonna go from one extreme to the other extreme. No, that's not a process. We're not time jumpers in that sense. And so if you starting out in Christianity or you starting out in any religion, you gotta go through the process. You it may move you to another religion. It may move you to the point to where you have to get an understanding because see, we've never been historians. We were born into these religions
She being bad. She doing.
and we just accepted everything that we were taught about these religions.
Yeah, kitty.
And so when you when you at this point in your life, when you get on this type of path, then it causes you to have to go back and do research. It causes you to have to search your stuff out, and you begin to have questions, and you find the answers to these questions that opens your eye and show you that it's not what you thought it was. It's not what you've been taught all these years to think that it is. And the thing that got us the most was that all it took was a little searching. All it took was a little in-depth searching, and then we found these things. And so that it you don't have to be a pastor, you don't have to be a minister, you don't have to be any
I'm gonna answer that
position.
question when you get through.
Okay, any position holding individual in the religious sector, to search things out, to search the truth of matters out, to get historical information and to understand the origins of where these things come from. It's all been a construct to keep people, and I'm not just gonna say particularly our race, but to keep people subservient
Yes.
at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And I want to say this one thing, and I'm gonna let Cam address the question. It's just like with the automobile. If anybody owns an automobile, and we can't never stress it enough, the importance of our physical bodies. Because we've been taught that our bodies is what, a vessel, a temple, and so as it relates to everything spiritual, if you're not doing the necessary things for your body to be performing at its optimal level, or at least assisting the body to work at its optimal level, then you're hindering your own growth. You're hindering your own development. Things that we're talking about, it won't resonate with you because you're already stuck in a particular paradigm that says, no, I can eat what I want to eat.
Just plead the blood.
All I gotta
over
do is
it.
pray over it.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's not the case because your car that you drive, you can't put nothing but unleaded, premium, or those 387, 89, and 93. That's the only gas you can put in. You can't put no diesel in no gasoline engine and think you're gonna still drive. It's the same thing with the body. It was a lot of stuff. It pretty much in all of the foods now. Everything that's ingredients in the food has a negative effect on the body, and so you have to be a student to
And the
understand
spiritual body
this.
too.
Exactly. And so you got to become a student and understand what it is you put in your body. So much so that you need to put the right stuff in your body. That you need to put the stuff in your body that's going to spark
They get ready to go.
the healing process. That's going to spark cell regeneration. Because know this, just like you can get those foods that does that, some of these foods are doing the opposite. So it's tearing you down. And I know what we're saying, y'all can relate to it because it's the truth. Some stuff that you put in your body causes you to be weak, causes you to have all types of different ailments, from high blood pressure, you name it, the list goes on and on and on. And so all we're saying is, in order to get to the place to where you're ascending, to get to the place to where the purge is real to you, and you understand what we're talking about as it relates to a spiritual purge, as it relates to a physical purge, as it relates to a mental purge, you have to make sure that your body is in tune. A lot of people put a lot of emphasis on exercising. That's good. That's great. But don't put so much emphasis on exercising that you're not putting the equal amount of emphasis on the intake. Some people say, no, you can eat meats and you can eat all of this. Well, again, it's about the energy. And it's also about the state. When you say it's about the state that that animal was in, the condition that that animal was in, and so we have to be mindful of that. We got to be better stewards.
Yeah, because if you don't, then and I'm gonna address the question too. I saw your question, but if you don't, you're not only hindering yourself, but the people who you were supposed to call to, you hinder what's supposed to happen with them as well. So it's not even just about you at all.
That's
Okay.
right. That's right.
And to address the question about the mark of the beast and 666 and all of that. Well,
Mm.
our understanding in that it has grown a whole lot. But to make it simple, the
Oh
666
yeah.
is 6 electrons, 6 protons, and
Six
six.
neutrons.
And so that basically is the buildup of carbon. Carbon is the building block of life. A lot of people talk about melanin, and we have mentioned it before.
Yeah.
There are different types of melanin. There's one that's sulfur based,
Yep.
the carbon based,
Yep.
9 ether, 6 ether. All of these things are just words, things that we had inklings of but weren't sure about. And so all of that is the breakdown of the building blocks of what we call life.
Life.
And so the book of Revelations and the dragon and the beast and the child being born and going into the wilderness, and all of that, that is just the allegory to what is happening in the evolution of mankind and being able to return from which we came. And so everyone here, most
Everything
people,
was created out of dark matter.
yes,
Go.
everything came out of darkness. And so because everything came from darkness, well, I must finish, baby. Because everything came from, yes,
I want
baby.
pizza.
Pizza?
Mhm.
Okay, tomorrow for lunch. Because everything came from darkness and darkness existed before light, there you will find yourself needing to deal with darkness, whether it's your own darkness, decisions in life you need to make that are dark emotions, dark thoughts. You find yourself, instead of avoiding that stuff, you just got to face it head on and jump into it and work through the darkness, so that you're not fearful of what's in that darkness. If you do that, then you're able to access more light, and you
That's
will
right.
be able to get revelations and light codes
That's
because
right.
you're willing to see the duality in it. You're willing to explore it, to search for truth, and truth seekers are willing to go to as far as it
Extreme.
takes to find
Right,
the truth.
Right.
And so with the mark of the beast, the 666, the other side of that is most processed food, it has omega 666. And so this is just one of the things that they understand that they're using to biochemically hack us,
Yep.
so that we don't come into this awakening, because once you do, you begin to exit the matrix, and so they can no longer live and feed off of your source of energy, your life, your soul,
Yep.
and profit from you while they are killing you.
That's right.
And so that is another element of it. The next element of the 666, the whole mark of the beast thing, what that is about is your belief system, your thoughts. It talks about the mark of the beast being on the forehead and the right hand. The forehead is where the third eye is. So that mark is either going to be on the third eye and you can't use it, or the mark is not going to be on the third eye and you can.
Right.
The reason it talked about the right hand, because the right hand represents the things that you do, the energy that you're putting out. And so if you study crystals, you will learn that if you meditate with a crystal in your left hand, that's because you're receiving the healing energy of whatever that crystal is good for into yourself.
Right.
But the right hand is for you to give.
Yep.
So if you're trying to learn how to heal people, do energy work, Reiki, anything like that, you would have the crystal in your right hand so that you can send healing energy or whatever it is you're doing. Even when your baby gets sick now, I get a crystal and I just send healing energy into her body. Those simple things. So that's why I mentioned the right hand and the forehead, with the mark of the beast. Now, it's a whole other story, but I do have a video that's kind of going to give you a little deeper understanding. That's connected to energetic entities, which we call demonic possession in the Bible. And so these energetic entities, yes, baby.
You can cover me, Mom.
Okay. The energetic entities is just low vibrational entities that attach themselves into your life. And in the Bible, again, we call them demons. We also call it the flesh, because sometimes it was us. We were our own demon and enemy.
Exactly.
And so, yes, that's stuff that's still real. It's real. We just have a deeper understanding of it now. We understand that when you're dealing with some type of entity, it could be from a curse in the bloodline, a generational curse. It could be an old soul tie that allowed something low vibrational and negative to enter into your life, or it could be something that happened to you when you were a child, and that trauma opened you up for something in the unseen realm to be able to manipulate in your life.
That's right.
And so we have found that the Lemurians and Atlanteans from Atlantis, the Egyptians, Sumerians, a lot of these Mayans, these older cultures, they knew about all of these things.
Right.
And so that's why they ate the way they ate and did some of the things that they did.
Exactly.
And so the more we become in tune with nature and with the universe and understanding history, true history, origins, science, metaphysics, all of a sudden, all this stuff began making sense to you, and you are able to put puzzle pieces together that never fit before.
Exactly.
And so the mark of the beast, 666, the ascension, wheat separated from tares, that is all an allegory for what's happening in the age of Aquarius for those who are deciding to go to a higher consciousness and those who are not. By not making a decision, you are making a decision. So if you watch this video and you make a decision to stay exactly where you are, then that's the reality you're choosing. And so whatever fruits of that reality, that will be your existence. So we know that we are immortal. The soul does not die. So even though this vehicle will be left behind, the soul is going to exist somewhere. And it is up to you where your soul is going to exist once you depart from your physical body, your avatar. And so what's major in this is go refer to the video about being authentic. Our authenticity is under attack. And that's going to help you make connections about the doctrines we were taught, the indoctrination in school, the connections with spells, curses, the whole English language, Anglo-Saxon, all that's connected to spells and Latin and just a lot of different things, you know? So it's a trip. It's interesting. It can be fun if you look at it that way. And then I'm really liking exploring things and being able to find answers. But you will have the downside of the awakening is that you notice I can't eat here anymore, even if I go to the most expensive restaurants. Seem like this food makes me sick. Now I got a headache, and I didn't eat the meat, but because I'm eating somewhere that cooks meat and serves meat, now my body is so sensitive. My spirit and soul is so sensitive that I'm not feeling well now that I've ate this. And so we can't eat at hardly anywhere anymore, and we're finding ourselves just taking some lettuce and some chickpeas in the car on the way to the party or whatever is going on, you know.
With that being said, I did this funny. We, since we've been born, unless your family is one that has been health conscious. If you're a younger person and you watching this and your family was already health conscious, and all, already vibrating on a higher level, I can say this much. When I started this journey of clean eating, my body, one of the main things that is hard to overcome and rid ourselves, or especially for me, was sugar. Okay, now that I have, and thanks to my wife, she helped me. Now that I have sort of recalibrated my body in regards to the sugar intake, I try to stay away from sugar as much as possible. I was one to love sweets and all that kind of stuff. Would eat a lot of sweets, but now I'm to the place where I don't eat sweets like that. When I tell you that if I eat something with sugar in it, I get headaches. It's like our body talks to us. And so it was just funny because she was saying, we go snatch, no, I was going to say, we go snatch a leaf of grass up out the yard and then we chewing on it. No, just kidding. But
it feels like this sometimes, and it's frustrating.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I mean, we are so strategic in what we eat, and some people say, my dad will tease and say, you with Ernest and he don't do nothing, eat bird food. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not finna go and get a hamburger from Wendy's or Burger King or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because it's important what we put in our body. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We got that plant food right there.
Yeah.
That plant protein.
Yeah. So you don't have to have meat to get protein. There are vegetables that have more protein than most meats.
Exactly.
And so you can pull up those lists and stuff yourself. We haven't completely walked away from the Remnants Gathering blog spot that we know we were using for those of you who've been with us since the beginning. We are going to start using that more again, and posting and sharing videos, links, and information. But we had to just go through a dying process where we allow how you all perceive us, view us, and what you all know about us up until this point. We had to let that die. That was very hard. We did not want to. We felt like we were abandoning people in the middle of their spiritual journey. And so all of that is just the matrix system to keep you from pressing through, to so that you can truly access spirituality. That's what that was. We had to get past that, let it go, and we had to understand that the people that we are meant and were called to work with and help guide, those people, this will resonate with them. We cannot let the anchors of the thoughts of being concerned about people's
Yeah.
perceptions of us to stop us from servicing those who are waiting on someone to give them guidance in which our energy will resonate with. So that's why we have not been being very visible. And so, because we wanted to press in, study, go into the cocoon,
Yep.
so that we can come out with our wings
Yep.
and be able to give you all wings,
That's right.
and share that energy with you all. And so, yeah, so we went through a dying process. And so if you're just starting this part of the journey, you're going to go through that too. It's going to be
Exactly.
very uncomfortable.
Exactly.
You're going to lose a lot of joy.
Yep.
You might love eating oatmeal raisin cookies, and all of a sudden now you're like, man, I can't have my favorite stuff anymore. That's all a part of the purge. Letting stuff go that's not
That's right.
beneficial and poisonous to you.
That's right.
And if you want to know your purpose in life, if you want to learn how to live your purpose in life, even to be able to earn income through what you're called to do, that is the most precious thing that you could ever have and experience in this thing. And so Ernest and I are still working on integrating that, and not having to work just to work, but to actually be servicing people, souls, meeting needs, and are able to survive and live and even thrive off our passion and our purpose.
That's
And
right.
and so that is the beautiful part of being unhappy, because of the ascension and the consciousness and the spiritual growth and the awakening. It is heartbreaking. It's going to be heartbreaking to see people that you care about and they can't see nothing you see. They don't believe no two suns ever was up there. They don't believe no UFOs. They don't believe that extraterrestrials are real, and maybe some of our origins come from certain galaxies. Like, all that just sounds so crazy to them,
Right.
you know? And you will just, it can be very sad and lonely. But the good side of that is you get to touch souls in a way that you never thought you could.
That's right. That's right.
That's your proof right there. And if you only touch one person, that is your proof right there. And so know that the wisdom that truth seekers are seeking and able to tap into, that's the serpent. Okay? And so the serpent is wisdom. It's hidden knowledge once it's exposed. That's what all of that means. So we are going to do everything we can to create a community, so you all have a place to come to and talk to other people, ask questions, like-minded people. Or maybe even you're here just because you disagree with everything we're saying, but for some reason you're still watching, right? That's good, because that's how we got here. We
Yeah.
disagree with everything Bobby Hemmett was saying, and now we're like, man, that's good, that's deep.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
helping us grow. And it's just,
That's
it's so strange and weird, but it's so beautiful. And we're just happy to be on this journey, learning how to be authentic, learning how not to hide behind things, and just be.
Yeah.
Just, I am that I am right now. I am enough right now. Yes, I'm going through some stuff. No, I'm not perfect, but this is what it is, and I'm going to make the best out of it. Humble myself and be open to grow. So,
We thought,
mother duty calls,
and we thought this was gonna be something we could just get on and get off.
right?
Reality set in on us. But again, y'all, like the channel, subscribe to our channel. Any other questions that you may have, shoot them to us through our email. Again,
Good night.
we're gonna be giving more and more of our time and energy to presenting more content and actually being here to help walk with you and talk to you as you're growing and developing as well through your journey. And so I just wanna say, extending more love, more energy, more light and more strength to you. Whatever you going through, just know that you can be in control of it. You can manifest the results that you want. But it takes a holistic approach. Everything that we've been sharing, everything that we've been um, 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 explaining to you all to do to make these changes a reality for you, it can happen. And so, with that being said, I just want to say good night. Much love to you. Oh, thank you too, Chase. Um, we appreciate y'all, and y'all have a blessed one. All right, peace.
Babe,
Yep.
you clicked on this video. We'll talk about how the